expressed in this program by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis, and breaking scoreboard. Simone of the Olympics, defense and big business. The Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bell in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer.
DeeTrynt, GameChanga Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz Sports. Man, what's really good? It's the late night. You feel me? I've been running around all day. You know what I'm talking about? Just trying to get ready for Hurricane Ian, right? It's been crazy in Florida. You know, if you got people down here, just make sure you reach out to them. You know what I'm saying? See how they doing. Check on your folks. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. But regardless of the weather, I'm gonna try to bring you the sports news, especially for my Cleveland folk. You know what I mean? So again, DeeTrynt, GameChanga Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz Sports. What's really good with everybody? You feel me? We talking football, specifically the Cleveland Browns, because the Cleveland Browns look really good right now. And it's any given Sunday. Every week, something different can happen. You never, how certain players could be unavailable, and it really, it really could change and alter the direction of one season or even just current game prediction. And the Browns come off an amazing win against the Steelers. They played extremely well, man. Extremely well. It was a couple plays in there, we felt like they could have did some things and all that, but for the most part, they won the game, ended the game on a turnover, you know what I'm saying, turnover touchdown, so that's a step in the right direction. We 2-1, top of the division. Unfortunately, we lost Jadeveon Clowney that game with a ankle sprain, I think it was, or at least a tweak.
And I
It's
don't know if
probably
you
not
heard.
that serious.
My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I don't know if you heard about the accident Molly Garrett was in. Totaled as well.
I'm about to lead in. That's what I'm leading into. Yeah, I'm about to lead into that, bro. He totaled it. Wait, that's the wait. Run back. Did you say he totaled it?
Yeah, I'll try to find pictures and put them on what's the name for you in a minute. Finish doing
You hear me,
everything.
bro?
Yeah. You hear me?
Can you hear me? It's cool. So Jadeveon left. Anthony Walker went down, which was a cheap shot, in my opinion. And it's insult to injury. The way Anthony Walker squared up with the particular lineman, it just looked like something didn't go right. But for that lineman to pounce on him afterwards, like that be the type of stuff where I'd be like, bruh, we gotta clear the benches. You feel me? Because if I was his teammate, I would have kicked that lineman in his head. And that's why I don't play. Kicked him dead in his head, bruh. Boom, bruh. How you see him down with an injury and you pounce on him? So you taking this beyond football. Now you trying to mess with that man's livelihood, bruh. So what if I kick you in your shit? Excuse my French, y'all, but I don't like that dirty. I don't like that little corny stuff. You know what I'm saying? We already, they already play a physical game. It's already extra intensity because it's a historical rivalry. It's not just a rivalry, bro. It's one of the most historical rivalries in sports. Browns versus Steelers, arguably one of the longest rivalries in sports. Browns versus Steelers. We talking 60, 70 years of rivalry. You hear what I'm saying? So, it just ain't no place in the sport for that, bro. Y'all, the offense already anyway. So the Browns had a couple of injuries. And we coming off the win. Like, okay, we got 10 days rest. Okay, we going up against Atlanta. You feel me? Atlanta gonna bring something to the our he he's in a car accident, as you heard bro say. He was in a car accident, coming around whichever one of them curves. I ain't sure which one he was on. But in his Porsche, he flipped it. It was a single car accident. So I guess on the turn, he flipped. It rolled over a few times. Now, as you can see, the front messed up, the back messed up, the wheels messed up. But the hood of the car is still almost the way it came. To me, that is a good sign because the report said he didn't have any non-threatening life-threatening injuries. So that is the plus. Forget football right now, Miles. I'm glad that you're safe. We pray for you a speedy recovery and a 100% recovery, from whatever minor injuries. It ain't about football. This is about you being healthy and you being mentally right because I can understand, like, you be in situations, man, and it had your mind like, bruh, this could have been a different situation. You know what I'm saying? So, we glad you made it, bro. Go ahead and get healthy. It's early in the season. So even if you have to sit out, 2, 3, 4 weeks, bro, we still ain't got to the bye. And it's still, 14 games left in the year. So we all got prayers for you, bro. I'm pretty sure, thousands on thousands of Browns fans are showing they love and support. And we gonna keep you in our prayers, bro. But yeah, Myles Garrett, in a car accident earlier today in Cleveland, Ohio. Non-life threatening injuries, just minor injuries, but we gonna milk the cow slow and make sure he already good. So that puts us as a team defense in a peculiar predicament. You know what I'm saying, bro? If you can, bro, bring up the Browns depth chart or the roster. The depth chart preferably though. So now we get into the X's and O's. Okay. The Browns defense has came through for the most part when it needed to in 2 out of the 3 games. But they've played, physical brand of ball for the most part, or I'm gonna say physical. They didn't play good enough to allow the the offense to prevail on the scoreboard. So that's cool, but I think now we're really into what can Joe Woods do as a defense. Um, a lot of people would look at this and say, "Damn, both our star edges is down, and our best hitting middle linebacker is down." And that's cool, but it's still light at the end of the tunnel now. It ain't over, okay? What's going on right now is Joe Woods is being put to the test, as a as a he being put to the test as a coordinator, as a defensive schemer. Okay, so now I think Taven Bryan is questionable. He had a little nick up. Jeremiah Wusu Koromoa had a nick up in the Steelers game as well, so he may be out for a while. And then as you can see up here, Greedy's still on the IR. I believe this is the last week for him on the IR. Um, Stephen Weatherly, Anthony Walker done for the year. Chase Winovich on IR. Me personally, I don't even know why he's still on the roster to begin with. But hey, at least we do got a nice practice squad, So these guys will not be playing in the next game. All right. Miles, Jadavian, Jeremiah, I believe, Anthony Walker, Greedy Williams, Stephen Weatherly, Ronnie Harrison probably might even be out for a minute. So, we gonna see how Joe Woods act. Now, part of me feel like Joe Woods hasn't been aggressive enough as a defense. And I don't feel like he has been using the proper personnel for certain defensive assignments. And, in the Steelers game, I seen, first off, let me give him props because I don't remember seeing any starters per se playing special teams, which is something that really bothered me in the Jets game. And I felt like, hindered the defense as a whole when you got certain prominent guys, compliment stars, superstars playing special teams. This is the whole reason you got all them young cats and rookies and stuff on the roster, bro. The backups, that's what they for. So they can play the special teams. So they can get, in-game live work. So that way, if you got to bring them in all of a sudden, contact. That's how you build teams. But I didn't like how he used his blitz package. And I probably seem a little picky and, I ain't never satisfied. But, bro, everything is a process. When you start from the bottom, every step of progression don't mean you finish. It just means that you're progressing in the right direction. And this is all I'm getting at with Joe Woods. He's starting to progress in the right direction. We're going to see how it goes. But in that Steelers game, I seen Greg Newsome blitzing. I don't like Greg Newsome blitzing. I don't think he's at that point in his career to be an attacker. I don't like Denzel Ward blitzing. I don't think he's at that point in his career to be an attacker. I would like to see Martin Emerson blitz more than I see any one of them blitz because I feel like that just adds to his physical play anyway. I would like to see Dale Pitt and John Johnson blitz more. I think those guys, because blitzing is an art. I don't know about how, everybody's football knowledge, how they know about it or whatnot. But there's a art to blitzing. Being able to read a lineman's and a tight end or a running back's body language, as you figuring out which hole you about to hit and how hard you about to hit it. Being able to do that half a second delay to make whatever look you off so you can get in there real quick. Those little things matter. The little nuances, they matter to blitzing. And I just feel like, when you blitz your best cover guys, then you leave your worst cover guys in coverage. And that leaves you susceptible to being beat and burnt. So, I'm just suggesting, Mr. Woods, hey, if you're going to blitz the guys that are good at blitzing and leave the other guys in coverage. So that means, hey, listen, I don't see nothing wrong with if he want to send Dale Pitt and John Johnson on blitzes. I don't see nothing wrong with him flip-flopping. You put Greg and Denzel Ward in the safety position, and you put them two on the line, in the cornerback position like they playing press. So it'll look like, oh shit, they switching it up. Something crazy, woody why? The offense ain't gonna know what's going on. They're gonna be guessing. You feel what I'm saying? And that's cool. The offense can guess. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But the whole point of the defense is to keep the offense confused. I didn't like seeing Anthony Walker blitz But I'd rather see him blitz than Jeremiah Wusu-Koroma because Jeremiah can cover. And I haven't seen Joe Woods put JOK in a coverage situation. Okay? You cannot allow the opposing offense to dictate who covers who on your. You need to dictate how this gonna go. You know what I mean? So, you know, in this, for example, and this is where I get Joe Woods credit for, listening. I ain't saying he listened to me and do it, but at least he analyzed for himself and seeing what was up. Okay. In the Jets game, he had Emerson checking Garrett and Ward checking Davis and Newsome checking Rondale Moore, which was not smart to me. But against the Steelers, he had Ward checking Deontay Johnson. You know what I'm saying? He had Emerson checking who was the other receiver? Not Chase Claypool, but Carl Pickens. He had Emerson checking Carl Pickens. And Carl Pickens caught a nice ass Odell-ish like sideline pass with the one hand, body in the air, fully extended. Hey, that shit was amazing, bro. I give you props, George Pickens. That was a hell of a catch, my guy. It didn't get you all the win, which is I'm glad for, but it was a hell of a catch. And then, on Chase Claypool, he had Greg Newsome. Chase like 6'3", but Greg Newsome like 6'1", 6 feet 6'1". He run like a 4'4". He can run with Chase. You feel me? So I thought they did a better job of that. Anthony Walker went down, so Jacob Phillips was more in coverage on fire move, which I thought is a good move because I think Jacob Phillips is a good dual threat at the linebacker. I think he has a better coverage IQ and athleticism and awareness than Anthony Walker. He may be the lightning strike tackler that Anthony he can grow into it. And luckily for us, man, guys like Miles and Anthony Walker are still like 25 and 26 years old. Let's even down to a Taven Bryant. Jadavian the oldest, and he like 29. So, Greedy like 25, 24, 25. He might even be 26. But still, though, these guys are still young. So their bodies can heal and recover at a faster rate than, if they in their 30s and shit like that. But Joe Woods did a better job of playing matchup. He played more men, more man coverage. And when it comes to the zone, I just think he should switch it up, bro. Too. Not even just with the blitzing. I think with the zone, he should switch it up too. Hey, if you know that you got guys that cover the better than long range, then don't leave them back there. Leave them on short range. So even if the quarterback recognizes, like, damn, Ward and Newsome back there, then he not gonna take no shots deep. He gonna try to go somewhere low, which makes now you're dictating what the offense does. Because now he's like, I'm not gonna go deep. I got them guys. I'm gonna go in the middle. But forgetting you gotta Jeremiah Wusu-Koroma down there. You gotta, a Harrison down there. Emerson. You got guys down there in that mid range that can tackle and catch, which is how it should work. You know what I'm saying? But we got to talk about what type of pass rush we gonna get, y'all. You know what I mean? I mean, that's kind of like the big thing because when you got Jadavian and Miles out there, you're going to get a certain level of pass rush regardless. Even if you just call, base plays with them and two other defensive tackles, you're going to get a certain amount of pressure regardless just because of who those guys are and athletically and skill-wise what they bring to the table. But 9 times out of 10, all these guys out. So you're going to have to start Alex Wright, Jordan Elliott, most likely Tommy Togiai. Then on the other end is most likely going to be Isaiah Thomas. I think this would be a good time to bring up Curtis Weaver You know, Curtis Weaver is a guy who was on our practice squad. You know, and he been with the organization for a minute. Might be time to bring him up. Chase ain't here. You know what I'm saying? You might as well bring him up. You know, I think Sheldon Day's still down there, so you can bring him up. You know, Joe Johnson, I think, still down there. You can bring him up. You got Isaiah Rochelle up. So you know, the Browns got some guys they could bring in. And then two, you know, with that defense, I think you know, this allows him to be more creative. This forces to create. And this could be a really good thing for the Browns because, you know, you could let, you know, this offense is playing really good. That secondary is really good. Even, you know, with the injuries, even with the injury to Anthony Walker and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, you know, you still got Taki, who's been with the team for years. You still got Jacob Phillips, who's been with the team like 3 years. You got Tony Fields that you could bring in that's been with the team like 2 years. So, you know, we get to see some of these other guys and how their roles really are, you know, how they're going to be able to make their mark on this team and impacts on the game, especially when it comes to helping us win. But this offense been rolling so crazy, you know, that even against Atlanta, we should be able to try something. Now, Atlanta come in hot, you feel me? Shout out to my cats on the Twitter Spaces as I was moving all day, going from store to store, running
You
space
blanked out
for a little
after you
minute
said
before.
shout out to the Twitter Spaces. You blanked out.
Huh?
I said you blanked out after you said shout out to Twitter Spaces.
Oh,
You blanked out.
oh, for sure. I appreciate that, big bro. Yeah, shout out to the Spaces, man. I was able to, you know, navigate and be on the Twitter Spaces while I was moving around from store to store trying to get ready for this hurricane. Um, you know, I was able to get some good info. Shout out to all my guys on the Twitter Spaces, man. OGs of Cleveland, Off the Clock, Dog Pound Podcast, you know, the regular cats that come through all the time, man. Um, you know, I'm going to dedicate me a stream where I just shout all y'all out and get them a little insight on how we get down in these spaces. But if you on Twitter, bro, you should follow any of these entities, you know, or if you just see a Cleveland space on there, come in that space. We really good, we respectful and all that, you know, but let me not monologue on the spaces. Joe Woods got a chance to get creative. And he has a chance to reinstill his defense or reinstall. Or let me he gets a chance to have fun simplifying it and making it a lot easier for his defenders to be effective on a play-to-play basis. All right, this is what's going on. So, what's going to aid him is the fact that this offense is out of control. All right, and you know, Big Bro went on ahead and scrolled up to the offense. Okay, Jedrick is probably going to play, so don't worry about that. That offensive line should be fully well intact, so don't worry about that. Our running game is going to be fully intact. We cool. Last week, remember that? Hey, y'all know the movie. Remember that stuff last week? Remember that stuff that happened last week? You feel me? With Ninjoku and Amari Cooper? Bro, in that Steelers game, they went for 16 catches combined for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. And could have had a couple more, you know, had a few things not happen. All right. But what I did see in this game from Jacoby that gives me even more confidence in this team and this offense going forward is his composure. Do you know Jacoby Brissett is 30 for 31 on third down and fourth down and 1? That is an amazing stat. Do you know the Browns have converted like 70% of their third down? We didn't ever have none of that with Baker, okay? And to have two receiving threats be a major impact in the same game, that just doesn't happen. Okay. But that chemistry between Jacoby, Njoku, and Amari Cooper to complement that running game. And yes, I did say compliment because this running game, make it no mistake, this running game is the feature prize of this offense. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, the ability to run end rounds with my boy Anthony Schwartz, do a little trick stuff with Demetri Felton, still having a Jerome Ford back there that you can spell in, still having a Dearness Johnson that you can bring and move in at any time. And speaking of Johnson, he was actually active for this game. So he was active for game 1 and he was active for game 3. Demetri Felton was deactivated for both of those games. So I don't know if they doing a one a game, a flip flop. Felton get, then Dearness get, then Felton get, then Dearness get. We gonna see how this roll. But this offense, bro, this offense gonna be scary. Okay. Njoku had 9 catches. He had 9 catches on 10 targets. Amari Cooper had 7 catches on 9 targets. So out of 19 targets, they had 16 receptions. We haven't said that about a Browns receiving corner in a very long time. Hats off to them. And I do foresee other guys getting more involved. I think the next guy that's going, because Donovan Peoples actually carried us the first game. So I expect him to be back involved, but I expect David Bell to get involved too, the rookie wide receiver we took from Purdue, Big Ten's leading receiver, at the time. I expect him to get a lot more reps too. Because Atlanta gonna come, they ain't gonna come to play though. They got Mariota, they got Pitts, they got Drake London who doing their thing. They still ain't even got Calvin Ridley back. Cordell Patterson is acting like he beast mode in the backfield. You feel me? DeeTrynt, GameChanga Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz. You feel me? Streaming on all social platforms, multimedia platforms, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know what I mean? If you miss the live version, you can definitely catch the playbacks on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and a few other multimedia streaming services. But Atlanta could come in and make some noise, so we gotta keep it. We gotta keep it together. But I'm gonna spin the block right quick. I want to go back to Miles, and I'm gonna be honest, y'all. When I first heard the news, what's the first name that popped in my head? Kellen Winslow Jr. And the flashbacks of watching that video multiple times of him doing donuts or in this little ass parking lot and injuring himself for the season. He wasn't the same player after that. And, obviously we see how that turned out. Wish him nothing but the best. Hold your head up, bro, one day at a time. I'm saying? Eventually, something to shake. But I don't like this. I don't like the timing of it. And let me tell y'all something about Cleveland, okay? For those that don't know, most very fast cars are not allowed on the streets of Cleveland, right? You got some Porsches and some BMWs, but like those high-end Porsches and BMWs, they ain't allowed. Lamborghinis, Bugattis, and shit, that shit ain't allowed. For one, the speed limit in Cleveland on the streets is only like 25 or 35. Even on the freeway, the shit is only 60. It may hit 65 depending on how far out of Cleveland you're going. But inside Cleveland, now I remember the speed limit used to be 50 on the freeway. Okay? Like it's not a place where you recklessly move around. There's so many different nooks and crannies. And then winter starts in September. I want y'all to understand this. Okay. We get in Cleveland, we get black ice on the regular. It don't have to be snowing for us to get black ice. Okay. It gets cold enough. It'll rain. Like it's a process. It'll rain. It'll rain. It'll rain. Then the weather will drop. It'll get cold. It may not snow, but the fact that it just rain like that and then it gets cold, the streets is still wet, which it ain't doing nothing but conditioning the ground for the snow that's gonna fall. You feel me? But I say that to say, like, if you're not used to driving in that type of terrain, you could injure yourself and a lot of other people. You know, Cleveland is, you know, the base of it downtown, you know, is all off the water. What a lot of people don't know. You know, Lake Erie is the big is the big body of water. But we also got this long ass thing called the Cuyahoga River, which literally divides of the east side of northern Ohio from the west side of northern Ohio. Just period. All right. And that ain't even including when it goes down, you know, a couple hundred miles and connects to the Ohio River. All right. So, you know, I don't know what Miles was doing. I'm not saying that he was being reckless. I'm not accusing him, insinuating nothing. But, bruh, that is not the city to be trying to enjoy your car like that. You know what I mean? And you being one of the leaders on the team and one of the most vocal leader on the team, you know, bruh, I'm so glad you only got minor injuries. Because as much stuff as us fans that went through, like y'all players that went through, we had to, you know, deal with the other fan bases and all that, bruh. That could have been something crazy. So again, I wish you a speedy recovery, but bro, you gotta be a little more smart. You know what I'm saying? Them Cleveland streets ain't nothing to be playing with. And if you got those down south tires on your car, it's not gonna work, bro. You need thick tires on your joint. You need winter tires on your joint. You need some shit with some traction and some grip that's gonna last a while. You know, you need some run flats. You know what I'm saying? Them little joints, they ain't gonna really, you know, and especially being that Jadavian was down, it's just bad timing, man. And we don't know how things play out. Things just happen at random, man. We don't always have control like that. You know, the best thing we could do is put ourselves in a position to not get caught up or swept up in the BS, you know. But Miles, bruh, we need you. You know what I'm saying? We need you back. You know, so speedy recovery, bro. With that being said, the real question is who steps up as a leader in Miles' place? Now you got John Johnson III down there, who actually leads the team in tackles with 18. Jacoby, he didn't put up what?
Oh, babe, I'm sorry.
He didn't put up like he didn't put up like 560, 596 passing yards. Let me go back to this right quick. Let me go back to quick because I just had it up. Let me get some accuracy, okay? Jacoby then threw for 596, 61 for 92, 33% completion. He's averaging 6.5 yards of completion. He's averaging 198, almost 199 passing yards a game. He has thrown four touchdowns and thrown one interception. And that one interception shouldn't even happen. You know, if you missed that, definitely go back and catch Gridiron Thursdays with me and Scully, where I went over that, you know, and talked a little bit about that. But you know, Jacoby has played brilliantly for the Browns. He's ran Stefanski's offense better than Baker did. He's run Stefanski's offense in 3 games better than Baker did in 4 seasons.
Yes, sir. You
We
back?
back? Okay,
Yeah,
we
we
back.
back.
Yeah, I synced it. We back?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
back.
You just don't, like I say, Baker doesn't understand that, when your receiver is one-on-one, he's open, right? Being open in the NFL is totally different than being open in college. When guys are open in college, they are visibly open. Nobody's around them a lot of times. And the way Oklahoma ran that offense for him or through him designed a lot of players for him to be open. I mean, when you got the best talent, on the field on both sides, 90% of your games, bro. I mean, what else you think gonna happen? But Baker is still, inconsistent. He's making the number one receiver over there, DJ Moore. He's not getting involved. So he feels some type of way. Christian McCaffrey then went over 100 yards one game this season. Robbie Anderson not being effective. They just got Laviska Shenault, and he made an impact. Couple catches, 90 yards. I think he broke for like a 65-yard, 70-yard touchdown. So Carolina got some pieces, but they started Baker and they shouldn't. They should have started Sam Darnold, let him flop, and then brought Baker in. People just had this belief of Baker like he's just the next guy. And I'm going to say this again, as I've been saying since day one. Baker cannot read defensive coverages. Because he has an inability or has shown the inability to recognize and counter move defensive schemes put against him, he is a bottom tier quarterback. He can make all the throws, bro. He got the moxie. He got the it factor. He got the intangibles except leadership. Baker is not the guy you want to be the leader of your team. They made him a team captain. I felt like they just disrespected Sam Darnold for no reason. You know what I mean? They lightweight did what the Jets did to Sam Darnold. Okay, but my whole point of getting on this is to say, like, I'm on Twitter and I'm seeing a lot of people change their tone. They looking at these stats and they like, dang, now we see why the Browns went after Deshaun Watson. Which I don't understand how you couldn't conceivably understand that from the get-go. But, hey, it ain't, better late than never. Okay? They tell you all the time, you rather show up late than not show up at all. You know what I mean? Because at least it shows some type of fight. It shows some type of dedication. We all can't be exactly pinpoint all the time like we want to, but we can try. And that's all you can ask anybody to do is try. And I just don't think Baker tries. He doesn't try to get better as a leader or as a friend or as a human. I don't know what he's like as a friend per se because I'm not his friend. I can't all the way speak on his character as a human. I haven't never kicked it with him or seen him in person outside of on football. You know what I mean? But from what he showed as a football player, all around, especially at that position, bro, he ain't it. He is a future backup until he learns and put in the work to read defenses. And that's just what it is. And salute to Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, Jimmy, and D. Haslam for making that move. Because Jacoby balled, which makes their move look even better than we already knew it was, right? But this offense, we gonna see how it grows. Because as each week comes, Jacoby gonna get more and more comfortable, and Kevin gonna open up the playbook a little bit more. So I bet down to $1. Let's go back to the matchup on Sunday, Cleveland versus Atlanta. Right? Atlanta got two nice corners. AJ Terrell, which was the corner from Clemson a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and they got Casey Hayward. Now, They also in a linebacking core got Deion Jones. So essentially, they have a guy or guys who they could potentially put one-on-one, with Amari, um, with Donovan Peoples-Jones, with David Njoku. And they might actually, give him a little bit of problems, even though I think Amari Cooper unguardable. I don't care who you throw him, bro. If you ain't throwing like Jalen Ramsey or something on him, bro, it's one-on-one coverage can't stop him. DPJ is still coming to his own. So, you may have something there if they decide to put Casey Hayward on him, which I assume they will. And then Dion versus Njoku. Now Dion he's a very good linebacker. He's a great linebacker. Yeah, he's still getting back all the way from the injury, but he's a phenomenal guy to have your linebacker. So, who steps up? Will this be the game that Chubb and Hunt just dominate? Is this a game we see Hunt score 2 touchdowns and see Kareem score 3 touchdowns because, I don't know. But the way Kevin Stefanski has been running his offense, the play calling, got to clap it up for my guy because, people criticize his play calling. And it's been some times during this season through 3 games where I'm like, man, why you run that play? Just to turn around a play later or 2 plays later and he called something tremendous. So that tells me that, hey, not only are you getting better, as a play caller, and recognizing defenses to help your quarterback, but you also got a lot more trust in the guys that you got on the field on your offense. So, this could be the game that Jacoby hit 7 or 8 different receivers. We could have Njoku with 4, 5, 6 catches, Amari with 5, 6, 7 catches. We could also probably have Donovan Peoples-Jones with 4, 5 catches. You could, see a David Bell with 3, 4 catches. You could see a Harrison Bryant with 3, 4 catches. I mean, is it feasible to say that Jacoby Brissett can get, 20, 28 to plus 30 completions? He can. With this running game, though, it's hard to see why they would go past heavy. Jacoby is only averaging like 30 passes a game. So, and it's allowing them to not only stay in games, but dominate a lot of these games. So, I just think I hope that the Browns coaches and the players overall just stop taking their foot off the gas. Run it up, bruh. Run the score up. Run the sacks up. Run the turnovers up, bruh. Listen, traditional football ain't traditional football no more. This is about your 11 versus my 11. All right? And we have one of the best, 22-man rotations of guys, offense, defense, that you could find in the league. So I need to see, I need to see more aggression, man. I want you to put guys out their misery, okay? It ain't enough that we up 21-3. It ain't enough we up 14-6. We up 28-7. It ain't enough. This is the NFL. This is the National Football League. Anything can happen any given Sunday. So, I want to see that. But this could be a game Nick Chubb go over 200 yards, right? I think that's possible. I actually think I'm not giving no predictions today, right? You got to tune in Thursdays between 2 and 7, somewhere between 2 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be streaming, all right? It'll be Gridiron Thursdays with DeeTrynt and Scully. You know what I'm saying? We have, a recap of the whole week of games for week 3. And, we'll start looking at some of the games in week 4. But I like the Browns' chances just throughout the season right now. A lot of teams look vulnerable. Some top teams lost to to some other good teams too. A few teams kept their undefeated streak going. But these Browns is in the mix. They in the hunt. They in the mix for one of the top spots. They got to just keep playing and keep playing hard. And listen, we all have dealt with injuries. Injuries have happened. This is not nothing new with the Browns trying to overcome, impactful injuries. But the one thing they got on their side this year is this roster has 2 or 3 guys at every position, or just about, majority, every position they got at least 2 guys. Some positions they got at least 3 guys that they can bring in that can step up and fill those voids. It's just about how they utilize, man. So this is gonna be a coaching game. This Atlanta versus Browns. It's gonna be about the coaching. And we gonna see, which head coach can get their team to play, on level 1,000,000 for 60 minutes. You know what I mean? But I just want to get in here and chop it with y'all for a second. While I still had a window, I got to the house. I appreciate everybody who tuned in or whatever platform you on. Just know whenever you see us up, you catch it live. The links is always in the chat, so you can feel free to hit them if you want to come up, talk your stuff, speak your piece, or just chime in on, whatever topic is going on at the time. Once again, we stream on all media platforms: Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, uh, uh, YouTube. And if you missed the lives, you can catch the replays on Spotify, InDaStreetzSportz channel, GameChanga Sports Talk. Subscribe, like, share. You can catch it on Anchor, InDaStreetzSportz channel, GameChanga Sports Talk. Catch it on, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. It's always a pleasure, y'all. Please be safe. To all my people in Florida, I hope Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, anybody that could be impacted by Hurricane Ian, man. Just make sure y'all can prepare as much as y'all can. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe. Protect your family. And I'll get up with y'all later, man. It's been a good one, man.